Good morning. This is Gregg, Graham with Dallas Energy Efficient Products. I want to talk to you today about windows. And one of the things I want to talk about is when you get ready to purchase windows, it seems sometimes to be almost an overwhelming experience because you start hearing a lot of terms you're not familiar with, like U factor, R factor, solar heat gain coefficient, V transmittance. All these terms can be overwhelming at times. But before we get into really discussing those particular terms, I think perhaps one of the things we need to discuss is there's three major factors when getting ready to buy or purchase a new window. And one, of course, would be the kind of company that you'll be dealing with. There's a lot of companies out there, and some are going to be more familiar to you than others because they've spent a lot of money in advertising, and that's good. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they're necessarily a much better company because they've spent a lot of money on advertising. The second thing is the product itself. And there's a lot of different kind of products out there between aluminum, vinyl, steel, and also aluminum, enhanced aluminum, and fiberglass. So when you start looking for windows and wood windows, man, you say, well, what kind of windows would be best for me? And the final thing is installation. Now, what I'd like to focus on today, rather than talking about the company or installation, I'd rather focus on the product itself. Now, let's make it simple for us today. What kind of product are you familiar with? Well, chances are, if you're like most people, you have aluminum builder-grade windows in your home today, right? That's that kind of a lightweight metal, and it's got about a 3/8-inch space glass system in there, probably rubber seals, because a lot of you may have fogged windows or windows with moisture in them. That's because the rubber seals have dry rotted and cracked and now allow moisture in there. Do you think that would be a product you want to put back in your house? No, doubt it. Well, another product would be wood. Wood windows have been around, good gracious, forever. But when you think about wood, what are some things we know? Well, once upon a time they were alive. And that means they expand and contract. And they also need painting and scraping and glazing and things. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be married to my house. So making a window that's maintenance free, it has some value to me. So what about fiberglass? That's a new product that's out there. It's actually a very good product. But the question is it a lot better than vinyl? And would you pay a lot more for it if you could get a product that was just as good? The vinyl windows come a long way in the last 10 or 20 years. And the windows out there today are fusion welded. That means they're welded at the corners, not screwed together like the windows you've got right now. So when your house in Texas moves and shifts, guess what? That window doesn't move and shift with it. That's an important factor there. Also, vinyl does not allow energy to conduct through the frame, kind of like the aluminum frames that you have now. That's why during the winter, that's why you have moisture sometimes on the frame, or you'll see water down on the sills because that water's condensed and drip down on your sills and it's starting to rot your sills out. That's not something you probably want to continue with. So by going with a vinyl, we can eliminate that conductive problem that you have. And of course, vinyl also has the right kind of glass system. Now, so the glass is about 85% of the window. Did you know that? So not only is the frame important, but that glass system is extremely important. In the older days, everything was all about Energy Star related products. You're familiar with that. We had that for years and years, Energy Star rated. So we want a window that's going to give you the best return on your money. Solar heat gain is the key factor. Okay? So solar heat gain in Texas is the ability to keep that heat out of your house. Would that be important? Absolutely. On a scale from 1 to 100, 100 being the worst, if you have a window like a builder grade, it's about a 76 solar heat gain, which means what? You're only saving about 24% of the heat from coming into your house. An Energy Star rated window would be 40 solar heat gain, which means it's doing at least 60, but the windows we have a solar heat gain of 20, which means it's blocking out 80% of the heat from coming to your house. How important would that be in eliminating some of that heat? Not only making your house more comfortable, but making that hip national bank, which we call our savings account, save a little bit more by spending less on your utility bill. Well, we're about out of time today. Next week, we'll look at a couple of the other factors that will go into buying windows easier for you. Thanks. This is Gregg, the Window Doctor, saying goodbye.